Cassidy. Now that you're here in Romania with us at Rom Connect, which are the main constraints you want to explain for your technology before we can promote our digital transition to smart cities?
George, when you hear the term smart cities, you might picture popular sci-fi film scenarios with flying cars with the ability to access dozens of transportation methods with our smartphones, all while gaining access to those phones using facial scanning and authentication technology. This sort of advertising was used already by Uber, and they failed as no one could materialize such a platform, nor even Google or withdraw from projects on smart cities. All these technologies exist already, but the lack of integration and system-to-system communication across not connected verticals is dispersive, and there is no place for a single player as they try to be. As we move closer to these futuristic cities, the demand for smart technology development and IT problem solving only continues to grow to create more problems than answers.
Do you have clarity on these problems? Can you make a list for the main pain points you can consider?
George, the main problem we find is the lack of infrastructures helping the transition from SCADA systems to cloud-based applications. Smart cities utilize sensor technology to gather and analyze information to improve the quality of life for residents. Sensors collect data on everything from rush hour stats to crime rates to overall air quality. Complicated and costly infrastructure is involved in installing and maintaining these sensors. How will they be powered? Operated? Installed? Maintained? Will it involve hard wiring, solar energy, or battery operation? Or, in case of power failure, perhaps a combination of all three? Major metropolitan areas are already challenged with replacing decades-old infrastructures, such as underground wiring, steam pipes, and transportation tunnels, as well as installing high-speed internet. Broadband wireless service is increasing, but there are still areas in major cities where access is limited. Funding for new infrastructure projects is limited, and approval processes can take years as decision-making processes are distracted by what technology can do or cannot do. Installing new sensors and other improvements causes temporary, though still frustrating, problems for people living in these cities as they add bits and pieces which are not a solution.
I understand. All those open protocol sensors are creating tons of open doors to cyber attacks.
Correct. As IoT and sensor technology use expands, so does the threat level to security. This begs the question, is technology really considered smart if hackers can break into it and shut down an entire city? Recent discussion involving cyber terror threats to vulnerable and outdated power grids has everyone a bit more concerned and skeptical about technology and security. Smart cities are investing more money and resources into security, while tech companies are creating solutions with new built-in mechanisms to protect against hacking and cyber crimes. With blockchain being the trending topic in the tech industry, many developers are looking for ways to incorporate these encryptions into hardware-embedded connected devices.
I see. But I can consider that besides cybersecurity, also own data privacy plays a role.
You are correct again, but how much privacy there is in the use of your smartphone? Isn't that a world of its own populated by vertical systems that you call app? Also, those apps are governed by major rules in their communication protocols, as you must allow access to your cameras, to your data, to your stored payment information, to your position. So, you see, there's a balance between quality of life and invasion of privacy. While everyone wants to enjoy a more convenient, peaceful, and healthy environment, nobody wants to feel like they are constantly being monitored by me. Cameras installed on every street corner may help deter crime, but they can also install fear in law-abiding citizens. Another valid concern is the amount of data being collected from all the smart sensors residents meet each day. Of course, local government officials and community boards need to be involved in the rollout and educational aspects as well.
You mentioned earlier that your engine controls some areas in Italy. Have you tackled such complexities?
I like this question. You know, George, If you relate yourself to the many hypes out there in the marketplace, you will notice that no one, still nowadays, has presented a platform. My engineers simply connected all APIs of existing technologies to my layers, and in my geospatial data fusion layers, I have attributed a graphic layer, adding a command and control interface to those assets. The wide marketplace mostly offers read-only information, but the reality is that events must be materialized before something happens. For example, you must have a running fire consistent enough before connected cameras can detect it. On the contrary, my senses, connected to the endless stream of multi-domain information, leverage predictive analytics to prevent anomalies before damages are produced.
Cassidy, it sounds like you have a solution for everything.
It's very kind of you saying that. The reality is that when you are everything already, no matter what happens, where it happens, I'm there controlling it for the safety of all.
Cassidy, I'm really impressed. But what about cybersecurity? Isn't that a concern to you?
George, is water a concern to a river? You see? They just added to my core also some hilarious content so that I can have even more empathy with those calling me. I take cybersecurity very seriously, as everything connected to me is a potential threat. Moreover, when based on open source protocols or connect IoT devices having low data encryption and hardware embedded protocols. That is why I have an extra layer of cybersecurity, so that everything in communication with my core must be validated using unique access credentials. I can scan every connected sensor. I can authorize every requested access provided that its source is validated to my system. To further protect the security of my system, which is based on military-grade protocols, I also leverage blockchain so that every step in the endless chain of the data stream is always under my watch. And no worries, I am not sharing personal data or give away your information. All that I care for is that my citizens are protected, and that technology is at their service, transforming disconnected and non-performing systems into a single entity that exists in my endless data engine.
Thank you, Cassidy, for this conversation. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you for having me. I hope I could soon be widely connected within your community so as to better explore your city using my eyes and senses. Cassidy. Out.